In previous days, Sayadaw explained that by noting every arising object, by aiming an effort, sati, mindfulness, will strengthen moment after moment, hour after hour. And Khanika Samadhi, momentary concentration, will also become strengthened. And when the noting mind is direct or face-to-face with the object, yogi discerns the nature of the nama and rupa, mentality and materiality. Salakhanato, meaning yogi discerns the unique individual characteristics of these nama rupa, and yogis also discern the cause and effect, how these nama rupa are connected to each other as cause and effect. There are explanations in detail, but it will not be, Sayadaw will not explain in detail, as yogis have to practice themselves and they should understand through their experience of practice. The person who has attained the state of Paccaya-parigaha jnana, discerning into cause and effect, is said to be having easy breathing in the Buddhist culture. It is said that the person who has attained this Paccaya-parigaha jnana has easy breathing in the Buddhist culture and has a definite destiny in good existences to be followed, and the person is said to be Chula Sotapanna, minor stream enterer. But the person has to continue to practice in order to become Mahasotapanna, the great stream enterer. When it is said that Chula Sotapanna, minor stream enterer, has definite destiny, but it is not definite. Only if the person has Paccaya-parigaha jnana carried till the near-death time, and if the person passes away with a wholesome mind, then the person will be born in good existence. The Buddha to be, when fulfilling the perfection, the Buddha to be attained 9 existences of monkhood. Buddha to be was not just monk in name only, but the Buddha to be practiced Patimokkha Samvara Sila, fulfilling the discipline of the monk, as well as fulfilling Indriya Samvara Sila, restraint of the senses, and Buddha to be practiced high-level Satipatthana meditation as a monk for 9 existences. Practicing Satipatthana meditation, Buddha to be attained Sankharupika jnana till the proximate knowledge before the Ariya Magga jnana. So Buddha to be attained the knowledge that was proximate to the Magga Phala jnana. But because Buddha to be had this determination to be a Sayambhu, to be the Buddha who knew everything that should be known by himself. Buddha to be did not reach the stage of Riya Magga Phala Jnana, path of vision, knowledge. So the practice of Buddha to be reached the knowledge that was proximate to the Magga Phala Jnana. But still, in the round of existences, Buddha to be even was born in Apaya, lower existences, as the Buddha to be had some existence where Buddha to be did wrongdoing, that Buddha to be was reborn in lower existences. So even the Bodhisattva, the Buddha to be, was reborn in lower existences, even though Buddha to be practiced the Satipatthana meditation to the extent that Buddha to be attained the Vipassana Jnana proximate to the Magga Phala Jnana. So ordinary persons do not have any guarantee that the person will not be reborn in lower existences by attaining Paccaya Jnana, the knowledge into cause and effect, which is in the stage of Sankhara Vidarana Visuddhi, the purification of the view. So only if the person has become a Mahasotapanna, great stream enterer, will he, she have a guarantee that the person will not be reborn in Apaya. It is very essential for the person to continue the practice till one reaches the state of Mahasotapanna, the great stream enterer. So one has to continue the practice. At the stage of Paccaya Jnana, the person discerns the cause and effect, and the person has not gained the knowledge into the characteristics of impermanent suffering and non-self. So the stages of the two knowledge, Nama Rupa Pariccheda Jnana, discerning the Nama Rupa, and Paccaya Jnana, discerning the cause and effect. These two knowledge are not Vipassana knowledge yet, but Vipassana Jnana is gained having the foundation of these two jnana. So that's why these two jnana are not Vipassana jnana, but they are called Vipassana jnana as they are the foundation of the Vipassana jnana. The first two stages of knowledge are not Vipassana jnana, they are not insight knowledge yet. Discerning the Nama Rupa by being mindful of the object, yogi dispels the wrong view of Jiva Atta, living soul, when the Nama Rupa is discerned. At that stage, one has not discerned the cause and effect yet, and one has not discerned the characteristics of impermanent suffering and non-self yet. At the stage of discerning Nama Rupa, the person can only discern the middle part of the object. So in the object, there are three moments, the beginning, middle, and the end. At the stage of discerning the nama rupa, yogi can only discern the middle, not the beginning and not the end. Discerning cause and effect. At the stage of discerning cause and effect, yogi discerns the beginning and the middle, but not the end. For example, when heat arises, there is the beginning, middle, and the end. At the stage of discerning nama rupa, yogi only discerns the middle and not the arising of the heat, but the middle part of the heat. At the stage of paccaya-pariggaha jnana, discerning cause and effect, yogi discerns the beginning of the object and the middle of the object and not the end of it. At the stage of paccaya-pariggaha jnana, when noting the object, the first object that has been noted has not ended, and another object arose, so that the yogi has to shift the attention onto the second object before the first one disappears. So in case of the itch, the yogi is noting first itch. The first itch has not disappeared yet when another itch arises in another place. So the yogi has to follow the second itch. So in this way, at the stage of paccaya-pariggaha jnana, yogi discerns only the beginning and the middle of the object and not yet the end. And thus, it is not Vipassana jnana, it is not insight knowledge yet. Discerning cause and effect, yogi removes the ahetuka ditthi, causeless view. And discerning that relevant cause giving rise to relevant effect, yogi removes visamahetuka ditthi, fictitious cause view. And yogi also removes ichara nimana. Yogi removes the wrong view that it is the creator creating. But at this stage, yogi only discerns that relevant cause giving rise to relevant effect, but yogi has not discerned the disappearance of the object, and thus yogi can still hold the view of being permanent and good, and she still have the delicate form of the atta view. Not knowing that things are impermanent and suffering, the person still has the refined form of atta view. Only if the yogi gains the stage of discerning the beginning, middle, and the end of the object, yogi discerns the impermanence, and Vipassana jnana, insight knowledge, develops. Sayadaw explained the word lakkhana that Buddha had used. In everything there are marks. So there are marks in human, animal, or inanimate things. So based on these marks or the signs, the names are given. There are two kinds of lakkhana, two kinds of characteristics. The first one is sabhava lakkhana, and the second is samanya lakkhana. The first one, Sabhava Lakkhana, Sabhava, Bhavati Upajjati Bhavo, the Nama Rupa are arising as cause and effect. So these Nama Rupa are called Bhava as they arise. Just as every person has his or her own marks, signs, every inanimate thing also has their own unique marks or signs. In the same way, each and every Nama Rupa has its own unique marks or characteristics. The Paṭhavi Dhatu, earth element, has the marks or characteristics of hardness, softness, subtleness. The water element has the characteristic of fluidity, cohesion. The temperature element has the characteristics of warmth, heat, cold, lightness. And the air element has the characteristic of stiffness, tension, movement. The characteristic of the mind is cognizing. Phassa has the characteristic of coming into contact, and Vedana has the characteristic of feeling. In the word Sa of the word Sabhava, Sa means Sakko, it means unique, own, individual. So together with Bhavo, Sabhavo means unique, individual characteristics. So the Nama Rupa has Sabhava Lakkhana, unique, individual characteristics. The Nama Rupa are arising due to circumstances, and they each have their unique individual characteristics. So these Nama Rupa do not stay the same. They arise at one moment and dissolve at another. The Paṭhavi Dhatu, the earth element, arises and passes away. Apo Dhatu also arises and passes away. Tejo Dhatu also arises and passes away. So everything, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, arises and passes away. After arising, everything passes away. So these Nama Rupa, they have their own unique individual characteristics, and they also have the common characteristics of arising and passing away. As everything arises and passes away, as they come to dissolution after arising, they are no good, as they are not permanent. They arise and pass away. So if there are conditions that arise, the object will also arise. So nothing can deter something from arising if there are circumstances or conditions that are conducive for the arising of these objects. Paramatma, Supreme Soul, cannot stop something from arising if there are circumstances and conditions that are conducive for the arising of the object. And no God or no Creator can make anything arise. They cannot stop something from passing away. As these creators, they themselves are not permanent. They themselves are just imaginary. So creators themselves are imaginary. They are not real. They cannot do something to make something arise. They cannot stop something from passing away. Just like the weather outside, it will be hot at one moment, cold another moment, moisture, wetness. All these weather arise due to circumstances. So no creator can create such kind of weather. In the same way, no creator can create the nama rupa from arising. So these nama rupa arise and pass away due to their relevant cause. So nothing, nobody, no creator can stop something from arising, and they cannot stop something from passing away. So this nama rupa, everything arise, pass away, and thus they are impermanent, suffering, and non-self. So these characteristics of impermanent, suffering, and non-self are all called akara, manner concept. They are the marks or the signs. As each and every one has their own signs or marks, and also inanimate things have their own unique signs or marks. In the same way, the nama rupa has its own unique characteristics. And also, there are common characteristics. As all these nama rupa, they arise and pass away, arising and passing away are common to all nama rupa. So these common characteristics are also called sabhava. Sa here means samano. Samano means that are common. So every nama rupa has the common characteristics of impermanent, suffering, and non-self. And bhavo is the manner or characteristics. Samano bhavo, sabhavo, meaning the characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and non-self are common to all the nama rupa, and they are called samanya lakkhana, common characteristics. By discerning the samanya lakkhana, common characteristics of impermanent, suffering, and non-self, the person develops Vipassana jnana, insight, knowledge. So by discerning the impermanence, suffering, and non-self, the common characteristics, the person develops Vipassana jnana, insight, knowledge. Yogi who practices with effort will develop sati, mindfulness, and khanika samadhi, momentary concentration. When momentary concentration becomes strengthened, yogi discerns that the nama rupa that are arising as cause and effect, they arise and pass away. So in this way, yogi discerns the beginning, middle, and the end of the object. Hardness arises, passes away. Softness arises and passes away. Fluidity also passes away. The heaviness passes away. Warmth, heat, cold arises and passes away. Stiffness, tension, movement arises and passes away. Seeing also arises and passes away. Hearing arises and passes away. So all these objects arises at one moment and passes away at another. So these nama rupa, they all passes away after arising. So these are called anicca, impermanent. So the state of arising and passing away cause the knowledge and the vocabulary to arise that it is all impermanent, anicca. So samanya lakkhana is defined as samanana bhavo samanya, meaning that even though the nama rupa has its own unique individual characteristic, but they also have the common characteristic of impermanent, suffering, and non-self. So the state of these nama rupa, which are common in impermanent, suffering, and non-self, are called sabhavo. As they arise and passes away, the state of arising and passing away leads the word impermanent to arise. So Sayadaw will explain to clarify what is anicca, what is anicca lakkhana, and what is anicca nupassana. It is said that anicca veditapa, one should discern what is impermanent. Anicca lakkhana veditapa, meaning one should also discern the characteristic of impermanence. Anicca nupassana veditapa, one should also know what is the knowledge discerning the characteristic of impermanence. Anicca khanda pancaka, meaning that the five aggregates, in other words, the nama rupa, mentality and materiality, that are arising at the sixth sense door, are all anicca. They are all impermanent. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, bending, stretching, lifting, moving, placing, all these are impermanent. So when the striker strikes the receptor element, seeing consciousness, seeing contact, seeing feeling, they are all impermanent. All these are arising continuously like a stream of current without any rest. Even at the time of sleep, these objects are arising. So whatever the nama rupa arising at the sixth sense door are all anicca, impermanent. Hutva abhavato, they arise due to circumstances and they pass away. So to explain it in the practice, for example, heat arises and yogi notes the object as hot, hot, and the heat disappears. Heat did not arise in the beginning, but as heat arises due to circumstances, and after a while, the heat disappears. So heat also arises and disappears, and thus heat is impermanent. And also, other objects are also impermanent. Anicca lakkhana is defined as hotva abhavakaro anicca lakkhana. Hotva means it arises, the object arises due to the circumstances and conditions. In the case of heat, heat arises, so there is arising, present, that is leading to the dissolution, and it dissolves after a moment. So hotva means arising due to circumstances and conditions, Abhavakaro means the characteristic of no longer being present after a moment. So the characteristic of dissolving is called anicca lakkhana, the characteristic of impermanence. And Sayadaw will continue to explain tomorrow. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.